Once I got there, I had about 10 minutes with her, and that's when she went into cardiac arrest. Or let her little heart beat one last time, and she was gone. My lungs collapsed back to back. And at that point, they brought me to the ICU, they brought me back, and they intubated me, and I was put on a ventilator and life support. I blinked now, and I'm sitting in a vast open space, and out of the left side comes my clothes. And she is just everything I remembered and everything I envisioned in my head of what she would look like now at 6 years old. It was just such a beautiful experience to be able to have that with her, and I've been yearning for so long, not knowing if it was my fault, not knowing, you carry that guilt with you because not only are you her father, you are, she's under your watch that day. You're in medicine, you should know what to do. You should pick things up. That stuck with me for a long time. But she walked away, she waved, she smiled, and I felt such peace because I just knew she was going to be okay and that I was going to be with my dog, which is at home, comes bolting in out of the right-hand side. For me, it's just sharing my experience and hopefully planting that little seed of hope of where we're going, where our children are, where our loved ones are. I know that that's my purpose now. Thank you so much for having me. It's honestly an honor. I'm super excited to share my experience and just be able to plant the seed in anyone that's looking for some hope. So I'm a landscaper at the University of South Carolina right now. In my past life, I was a medical assistant, dialysis tech, and an EMT. So my wife and I have been together 25 years. We have a 21-year-old son, and in 2017, we were blessed with twin daughters, fraternal twin daughters. And everything was perfect for us. Life was going good, work was going good, careers, everything was going great. In 2020, the end of 2020, my Chloe became sick in a very short amount of time, about 3-4 days. We took her to the hospital several times. She was suffering from fever, bowel issues, and they just couldn't figure it out. They kept sending us home saying, it's a virus, go home, it's a virus. Okay. I trusted the medical system at that point a lot because I was in the field. And on that Sunday, which was November 3rd, we went back home within about a 2 to 3 minute time frame. She started moaning. My son ran in, called me over, I ran in, and at this point, she was very lethargic. She was not responding to my commands. She was not responding to my voice. I was moving her around, shaking her. Her eyes were just, it was almost like her eyes had glazed over and she just wasn't there. When I took her temperature, it had shot up to about 106 degrees. So I jumped into the bathtub with her. Some of my training kicked in. I jumped into the bathtub and I tried to bring her temperature down. We called the ambulance, of course, and we rushed her over to the children's hospital. At that time, it was during COVID, so they were letting only one parent at a time into the hospital, and I wasn't going to take that away from my wife. She wanted to be there with her, so I said, of course, I'll stay with the kids. And everything snowballed after she got to the hospital. She wasn't getting any better. She started to have seizures. They had taken her down for an MRI, a little too late in my opinion. Once I got there, I had about 10 minutes with her, and that's when she went into cardiac arrest. They put her on ECMO, which basically does everything for your body in order for your body to take a break, to start healing. It breathes for you. It filters your blood. It does everything. Unfortunately, while she was getting hooked up, the doctor came out and said that her heart was too weak It was barely beating at 22 beats per minute. And at that point, there was nothing more that they could do. So I walked in and I held her, and until her little heart, beat one last time, and she was gone. And this was all within a span of 6 hours. We moved to South Carolina shortly thereafter, about 10, 11 months after, just because we couldn't be in the same house. It was too much for us, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people that have gone through it of losing somebody so close. Some people don't want to let go of it, and others just can't stand to be in the same space, and that was us. Now, in terms of what happened to me recently, and just to preface it, I've never been a drinker, a smoker. I do have asthma, exercise induced, but pretty healthy guy. And December of 2024, just recently, I came down with a pneumonia. I thought it was run of the mill. Kept working, kept going. I wasn't feeling that great, kind of kept progressing. And on about December 12th, I ended up waking up and not being able to breathe. I mean, it was just super difficult to breathe. I had a high fever. I was taken to the hospital and I had sepsis. When they brought me in to the second medical facility because I was transferred, my lungs collapsed back to back. And at that point, they brought me to the ICU. They brought me back and intubated me, and I was put on a ventilator and life support. So I don't remember much of being in the hospital, of course, but I know where I was. And it wasn't in the hospital. So they had put me on the ventilator, on life support, feeding tubes, you name it, the whole gamut, which is, now thinking about it, it's odd because usually I'm the guy helping out, and now I'm on that bed. So all I remember was waking up, and it was a beautiful pathway, just a winding pathway. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, light at the end of the tunnel." I didn't see that. It was this bluish, grayish, foggy, but it was I don't want to call it like a sparkly fog, but it was just this calming, very pleasant, very beautiful fog, and just winding path that I found myself on. So I proceeded to walk down this winding path. And as I kept walking down this path, slowly to my left-hand side, a group of folks started coming into view. And on my right-hand side, these times in my life that for me are core memories, when my mom passed, when Chloe passed, when my daughters were born, when I got married, and it was just like memories playing. And again, just on my right-hand side, which really caught my attention because, again, they're core memories to me that I always hold dear. And that's when I started to think to myself, I said, okay, wait a minute. I'm definitely on the other side because this is not normal. But I was comfortable. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't nervous. And I kept walking. And again, the people to my left kept coming more and more into focus, but they were a little bit further down than these visions, these memories were. As I got closer to the folks, then I started turning my attention to them. And I could see a lot up close, but there were folks behind them in this group that I couldn't make out. You could see they were there, but there were no facial features. It was just difficult to see. They were in that fog. But the folks that were there at the front, I could hear them having conversations, looking over at me, smiling. Just a very comfortable, it was a very comfortable place to be. And I wanted to kind of join in, but I felt the need to continue walking this beautiful winding path. And after continuing to see those images and those folks, I got a little further down and there was a woman and she had curly hair, dark curly hair. Um, and I felt the urge to go to her. So I went to her and I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I have this, I know you, but I can't place you. I don't remember your name, but I just have this feeling that I know you. I just, it's there. And I kept apologizing. I said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't place you, but I know you. And she looked at me and she put her hand, her right hand on my cheek. And she said, don't worry. It's okay. You will. And then she kind of rubbed my shoulder and just kind of nudged me to continue to walk. I felt like I was walking for a very long period of time. And then I came upon a gentleman that I got the same feeling. And this was an older gentleman with a beard, white. And again, I just felt compelled to go to him and say, I know you. I can't place you, but I know you. He didn't say a word to me. He looked at me, he smiled, and then he patted me on the head like I was a little kid, like it was grandpa to his little, grandson. Just patted me on my head, patted me on the shoulder, and again, just very kindly, just kind of nudged me to continue to walk. So I continued to walk, and I came upon a memory that I had an experience, didn't remember, was not a core memory, and it was currently where we live in our home, in the living room. I see my wife sitting on the couch crying. I see my son standing next to her trying to console her, and in front of her on the coffee table is the urn that my daughter's ashes, my Chloe's ashes are in. It's shaped like a butterfly, and right next to it is another urn. And that's the one thing that I went, oh, and it just kind of, I don't want to say it hurt my heart, but I was saddened by it. And I blinked my eyes, which is the only time I remember blinking my eyes so vividly, and I'm not there anymore. I'm sitting in a vast open space, same fog, and out of the left side of this area I'm sitting in comes my Chloe. And she is just everything I remembered and everything I envisioned in my head of what she would look like now at 6 years old. She's the only one in her family with curly hair, but she had thick, dark brown curly hair. And she's wearing one of my favorite shirts that she had is this red shirt with 2 little hearts in gold. And she's got her blue pants on and her little sandals that were gold that I had put on her at the funeral home. I had put on her little gold sandals, and I had painted her toenails and fingernails purple, which was her favorite color. And she had that on, but her hair was longer. She was smiling. She had a little to hold back her hair. I forget the word for those. It's like you put them in here and you it's like a little hairband, I guess. And she comes over to me and she starts saying to me, Daddy, I miss you. I love you so much. And we had such a wonderful conversation of her telling me that she's okay. And her telling me, Daddy, you were right. My job was done. And I did a good job, Dad. I did a very good job. And, I'm sorry. It was just such a beautiful experience to be able to have that with her. And I've been yearning for so long, not knowing if it was my fault, not knowing, you carry that guilt with you because not only are you her father, you are, she's under your watch that day. You're in medicine. You should know what to do. You should have picked things up. That stuck with me for a long time. I'm so sorry. But she sat with me and I got to hold her. And just, when you smell your kids, you kind of smell their head and their hair. There's that smell that only kids, it's something you don't. Um, and the reason it hit me so hard, not only was it seeing her, but and being with her, but when she said, Daddy, you were right. I did my job well. When my daughters were born, I always used to say my Sophia was brand spanking new. I said, she hasn't been here before. She's just brand spanking new. But Chloe had this old soul quality to her. I told my wife and my brother and everyone, I said, she's such an old soul. She's so calm. She goes about life, she knows what risk to take, what to do, what not to do. She's always the one consoling Sophia. I just felt like she was here before. And I used to joke about it all the time. And right before my wife and I found out we were pregnant with the girls, we had a miscarriage just 3 months before. We were expecting, 13 years after we had our son, and we're excited, we're going, and we go into the doctor's office and they say, I'm so sorry, the baby's not alive. So when that happened, a little while later after the girls were born, I always used to say, for me, I think Sophia was coming. She was too nervous. So the Lord threw in Chloe and said, don't worry, she's going to guide you through this life because she's got the experience that you don't have. So when Chloe told me, Daddy, you were right. I did my job. I did it really well. I'm so proud. It was everything to me. Everything I wanted to hear, everything I wanted to feel. And just knowing how safe and cared for she is. So we spent time together, and it felt like a very long time. Thinking about it now, it's so quick here, but there was such a long time. And then I came to realize when I came to later on that we never moved our lips. She never spoke. When she spoke to me, we weren't moving our lips. It was just looking into her eyes. And I heard her it's so clear. And I would speak to her and she would respond, but our lips were never moving. They just were never moving. And I didn't come to realize that till after. So we spent our time together, and at the end she said, Daddy, I have to go. But remember, I love you so much. I'm always with you. I'm always with Sophia, with Mama, with Michael. I send you signs. I'm here with you. And I hugged her and I told her what I needed to tell her. And as she walked away back to that left side, I never thought I would feel okay with her walking away. You want to keep them here all the time with you. But she walked away, she waved, she smiled, and I felt such peace because I just knew she was going to be okay and I was going to be with her. And right before she's out of that area that I saw her on the left there, my dog, which is at home, comes bolting in out of the right-hand side. And her and Chloe had a very good bond. She would come downstairs and she would lay on the floor and let Leela just kind of lick her left and right. And she was just, our dog and her had an awesome relationship, whereas my Sophia and the dog didn't mesh so well, but Chloe and Leela just always meshed. And I took it as, okay, honey, I will take care of Leela. I'll make sure she's okay. I know we have a love-hate relationship, but I promise you, I'm going to take good care of her. And they walked away together. And I was there for a while, just enjoying that feeling, And my eyes, again, I feel my eyes blinking again. And all of a sudden, I feel like I'm laying flat, but I can't open my eyes. I don't feel fear. I don't feel nervousness. nothing. I'm like, oh, I'm laying down. I said, okay, I guess this must be the next part of what's supposed to go on. And I tried to open my eyes, I couldn't. And then I tried to sit up, and this heavy, gentle but very heavy hand on my head, it kind of just puts me back. And I say to the person, I say, I'm sorry, I just want to get up and see a little more. I just want to see where I am. And I hear a very, again, a calming presence, but it's a very kind of booming voice that says no, just no. And my head, I'm going, okay. And I attempt to get up again, and I feel that same hand on my head and now on my chest. And just with pressure, a lot of pressure. But again, doesn't hurt, it's just forceful. And I hear no. And then I feel getting pushed into this, whatever I'm laying on, just kind of getting pushed into it slowly. And then again, when I open my eyes, now I am in a room. It felt like a room to me, but there's no walls. And it's that same fog, but it has lost kind of its shine, its sparkle, I guess. And I'll tell you, I just started feeling nothing but pain. It was as if my grief, anger, regret, guilt, every bad feeling that we go through here that you can feel all at once, all in my chest. And I began wailing. And the last time I felt like I wailed like that was when I held Chloe and she passed. It was that wail, uncontrollable, unconsolable. And I just kept begging, please let me go back. Please let me go back, meaning where I just was. And just saying, please let me go back. No, this hurts. Please let me go back. And I'm crying and crying and crying and crying. And I closed my eyes. And that was it. And apparently they pumped me full of more medication and knocked me out again. At the end of that evening, the doctor had said, listen, they knew it was a 10% chance that I would make it out. My wife had already signed the not resuscitate paperwork. It was all being laid out. And they said, listen, the only thing we can do to try after this amount of days is we can take him off the ventilator and see if he starts to breathe to himself, but we can't say he's going to make it. We don't know. At this point, I had been on about 11 different antibiotics and steroids. They had gone in and did a bronchoscopy, which is basically like roto-rootering your lungs. So, and this is all being told to me, but all I know is that I was woken up on Christmas Day in the afternoon, evening time. And I came to after being taken off of the ventilator. I remember seeing some of my family there, but I couldn't speak with the tubes and everything. I just couldn't speak. But the first thing was I needed to tell them what just happened. I needed to tell them I saw Chloe. This is what I saw. This is what I experienced, but I couldn't talk. So my son was there, and I'm trying to get my hands up, and my hands are tied, but I'm twisting it, and I'm doing this, like a pencil. So my son got it, and he goes and he gets me a board, he gets me a marker, and unties me, and I just start to write. They told me just started writing, and my son would turn it around, and then he'd erase it and then write, and I'm trying to tell them all of this stuff. I couldn't hold it in. I made a recovery, which was basically shocking to everyone. And I was sent home about a week and some change later. And this is where my dog comes into play for validation for my family. For me, I don't need any validation. I know where I went. I know what I felt. I know what I've seen. But for my family, they just didn't want to tell me while I was at the hospital because to them, it was still a rocky road. They don't want you getting any bad news, anything like that. So I get home, I walk in, and I'm looking for the dog. Come to find out, my wife sits me down and says, I didn't want to tell you. And this is when she begins to cry because I had told her, written down the story of what happened to me there. She had put my dog down the day before I woke up on Christmas Eve. So my dog became very ill and started having seizures when I was in the hospital. And she took her in, and the vet said, listen, we can't do anything for her. She's, the best thing for her is to be put down. So she had put her down. So what I thought was my daughter saying, take care of my Leela, was my dog entering the picture and them reuniting. And of course, when I get home and I hear this, I start crying. My wife is crying. My son is crying. My friend is crying. And it was validation for them. For me, my tears, because of course my dog's gone, but I just never thought in a million years that not only would I experience that, but to have that very specific thing happen that I saw with my own two eyes, to then go home and say, they told me, they said, I don't know if you noticed in the room, but we kind of all looked at each other. And I honestly don't remember. There's so much stuff here that I don't recall. That when I wrote that about the dog, she had already been down. They all looked at each other. So it was validation for them. With more than 1,000% confidence that they are there. They send us so many signs. Little things that we bypass as a coincidence. There's no coincidences. There are no coincidences. They are doing it purposely. And some of us, like myself, like some dads that I've met, some moms that I've met that have lost their children, you go this long amount of time without getting any signs. You feel like I'm not getting anything. They're not coming to me. Are they really gone? Is there another side that we go to? They're there. It's just the way that I understand it now is our grief here is so massive. It overshadows and covers everything that we want to see from them. Anything we basically give up being open to these things, being willing to see these things. And from something as, some people get feathers or butterflies or cardinals or, heart-shaped rocks I've heard so many things, and a lot of people would just say, oh, that's it. And a little bit later, like myself, I say, oh, you know what? No, that couldn't have been. That's just a coincidence. It's my mind trying to make me feel better to cope with the reality of not having my daughter here. But it's not. They know what they're sending. They're sending tried and true messages to us. And when we need that very specific sign is when we most need it. We may not feel like we need it. We may feel like I've been having a good day. I've been having a decent week. I've been managing. And sometimes we get those massive, signs from them that you just can't say, oh, it's not that. No, for a fact it's that. And then some of us will get it when we're in our deepest pain. Why? I don't know. That's the way that our children work and our loved ones work. But they are there. They're sending us signs. They're by our side. And I have no doubt whatsoever that where we are living right now, this plane is not the end of us. It is not. What we have inside of us, our soul, is it's the major thing of what makes us us. And when we leave this place, that fulfillment that I felt that I'm talking about, we're all gonna feel. I wish I could. I told the guys in my Helping Fathers Heal group a while ago, I said, if I could take this feeling and break it into a million pieces and give it to every single person, even a hundredth of an ounce of this feeling, I would love to give it to you, because Do I feel pain? Do I feel grief? Absolutely. Just because I went through this does not mean that I don't miss my daughter, that I don't have my days where I cry. But now I know that I can stop myself and say, Orn, you know where you're going. You may not know how long it's going to take you to get there, but you know where you are going. You know that you will be with your Chloe again. So I have that in me now. And I wish I could give that to people, to have that knowing that, hey, yeah, it sucks here. It is painful here. But on the other side, all of that is gone. And if we take the time to just connect with our children, connect with our loved ones, look at a picture, a memory, a video, something that, an object that means something to you, that's connected to them. If that's your way of just being able to sit and open your mind and shut off your brain, all that nonsense that goes on in our heads, you can feel that. And even if it's fleeting, if it's momentary, it's a little bit of what you feel when you get there. I'm excited to go back. You know, I want to live my life. I want to see my daughter grow up, my Sophia, Michael, and be with my wife for as long as I can. But I want to go back. I have no fear of dying. It's just not there anymore. It doesn't exist to me anymore. The worry of what's going to happen to them if I go before them, that's not there anymore. And to all your listeners, I just, you know, if what I say during this conversation drops a little seed of hope inside of you, that is all I'm hoping that it does, because I had no purpose in life after Chloe passed. When my mother passed, she was very sick. I got into medicine because that was now my purpose. I had a purpose. But when it's your child, and then not knowing why she's gone, you have no purpose. You just feel completely lost. Why are you even here? What is the purpose? What lesson am I supposed to learn? After my experience, I have come to realize that for me, it's just sharing my experience and hopefully planting that little seed of hope of where we're going, where our children are, where our loved ones are. And if that can sit inside you and you let your soul water that hope, and you may not feel anything now. You may feel it 5, 10, 15, 20 years later. But if I can manage to drop that little bit of a seed, I know that that's my purpose now. I know my daughter would be proud of me. I know she is proud of me. And it makes me feel good inside that I can do that for someone. Because if I can't give you my experience, at least with my words, I can try to convey that experience and what it feels like. And hopefully that's what I can do for the remainder of my time here on this earth, because nothing's going to make me happier than that. Nothing is. And again, your grief is there. Your pain, my pain is there. My grief is there. But I just have that knowing, that hope now, that it goes beyond faith. It's actual belief that there is another place we go.